As if the astrology of March wasn't bumpy enough, April has us buckling up and holding on for dear life. So let's get into all of that. Welcome back, my astrology family. If you made it through the month of March unscathed, congratulations. But I think for the majority of us, we had a very life-changing month. March flew by so fast, and that's because you can see we have so many planets in the zodiac sign of Aries, the energy of new beginnings, of bravery and confidence and taking risks and fearless action in the pursuit of our dreams, our goals, and our destiny. So the month flew by just like the Aries fire, and now we are finally moving into the energy of April. I would love to come to you today and tell you that April is going to be easy breezy, but it is so far from that. April is going to be another month with wild, unexpected turns, shifts and shakeups, volatility, and the eclipses, which kind of ties our hands a little bit, and we don't have as much free will. So there's a lot to get into in this video. Just like I did with the March astro weather forecasting video, we're going to take the same format this month. First, I'm going to go through a general overview of the month ahead, let you know what we can expect and anticipate, what are the major themes that we're going to be going through this month. Then I'm going to go through each planet one by one, remembering each planet is a life coach to us, trying to teach us different lessons. And when they move through different zodiac signs, through different energies, they take on a different vibe or a way in which they're going to teach us those lessons. So we'll break that down one by one. And at the end of this video, I'm going to then go through the entire month, date by date, so you can go ahead and grab your 2023 Astrology Retrograde Journal, open up to the page 28, which is the April monthly overview page. Go ahead, you'll see this calendar here. Some of these we are going to be talking about, but I will also be giving you a lot more details and a lot more information in more specific dates. So we're going to dive into all of that in this video. Remember that April is the month that is going to be the serve, and May is going to be the spike. So that is all to say that we have 7 major astro weather events happening in the month of April, and May we have 13, almost doubled. So I know that March was chaotic. March was very life-changing with a lot of these life coach planets shifting and changing signs, changing energies, some of them which have not moved in 15 years. And so March was really a transition month. It was starting the astrological new year. It was bringing in new energy. But in April, we have to start embodying and embracing and integrating that energy while we have 7 new transits to move through this month. So there's a lot going on this month, but just remember all of this is the serve, and May is going to be the spike, the actual change, the actual momentum. There is a lot in store for us. And so by the time we get to September, things will start kind of backing up and slowing down. If you caught my 2022 Astro Forecast video, I mentioned that between the month of March and the middle of May, we are going to feel like we've lived an entire year. And that is no joke. So you can probably start feeling why, because every day is flying by faster and faster. You have more goals, you have more dreams, you have more shifts and changes happening in your life all at once. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and start talking about the major themes and the overview of the month of April in 2023. So moving into this month, we have to remember March, like I mentioned, we had major shifts. Pluto moved into the zodiac sign of Aquarius. He has been in Capricorn for 15 years. He is now officially in Aquarius at 0 degrees. Now, he is kind of the main player this month, even though most of the time we don't pay attention to Pluto. He moves super slow, and he doesn't impact us a whole lot because his transits last a whole 15 years. So it's like a chapter of our life, but not something that we really notice on a day-to-day basis. However, this month, he is a main player because you can see all these planets in Aries are going to slowly, one by one, be moving into the energy of Taurus. And when they move from 29 degrees of Aries into 0 degrees of Taurus, when they make that shift one by one, they will have to have a conversation with Pluto, in a square with Pluto. Remembering squares are tough, challenging conversations where one planet, Pluto, is saying, hey, I'm over here challenging you. I am forcing you to grow as you move into this direction. So Pluto, remember, is the god of the underworld. We are going to talk about him when we get into each individual planet. Then, this month, we are also going to be starting eclipse season. Eclipse season. This is a time when we don't have as much free will. Eclipses happen on either new moons or full moons, and they are new moons or full moons on steroids. And so we set intentions on new moons and we release on full moons, but when we have eclipses, the universe, God, source, does the job for you. Things get eclipsed in and eclipsed out of your life that are not in alignment with your destiny, because it deals with the North Node and the South Node. Those are the karmic points and your destiny points. And so the eclipse season will be beginning now in April. That is a massive, volatile, getting you back on track, back on course time of year. That will really start picking up by the 10th of April and lasting us all the way through until the end of May. Now we are going into a brand new eclipse cycle, wrapping up the old, but starting the new. So this is very important to recognize in April. Not only are we going through another eclipse cycle, these happen every 6 months, but we are going into a brand new one. So this is even more new, unexpected, fated things. So we're going to talk about that in this video as well. In addition to that, we are going to be starting retrograde season. We have been retrograde free for 13 weeks, but in the middle of April, we are starting retrograde season and it's kicking off with Mercury. So Mercury retrograde will be the first one, not only of 2023, but of the entire retrograde season. That means for the rest of 2023, we will be in at least one active retrograde at all times, but by the time we get to September, we will have 9. If you want more information on that in your 2023 Astrology Retrograde Journal, if you open up to page 6, and you will see that there is a retrograde overview chart where I list each month and how many active retrogrades are happening within each of those months. And you'll see it starts ramping up. In April, we have 1. In May, we have 2, and so on until we get to September, where we have 8. So we are just beginning that now in the month of April. In addition to that, we are still in the astrological New Year energy. The astrological New Year began on March 20th, when the sun entered the zodiac sign of Aries. We are still in this energy, in this Aries new beginning, bravery, fearlessness, being bold, being direct, being selfish, going after our dreams. And if you remember, in the March Astro Forecast video, I mentioned that Aries is the area of the sky that is getting so much attention for the next 5 to 7 years. So you need to know where that is in your chart. I mentioned that in the March Astro Forecast video. If you don't know where that is and you still need help, feel free to reach out to me. I can help you locate that within your birth chart. And the last thing I want to mention is that we have a lot of these planets, life coaches, going through crises or major changes this month. Not only, like I mentioned before, as they move into Taurus, are they going to have a conversation with Pluto, god of the underworld, they're also going to be running into Uranus. Uranus in Taurus, he's been here since 2019, and Uranus is the rebel, the revolutionary. He will shake you awake. He will make you move forward so fast you don't even know what happened to you. And so Uranus is the life coach of sudden, jolting, surprising, unexpected things happening in your life. And so as the planets move into Taurus, not only do they have to deal with Pluto, transformation, change, seeing the skeletons in the closet, moving through the darkness, but also running into Uranus, who's going to help shake you forward. So that's going to be Mercury, as Mercury retrogrades in the zodiac sign of Taurus. We have Venus there right now. Jupiter will be moving into Taurus in the next month. We have the eclipses happening there as well. So there is a lot of energy, not only shifting and moving, but also dealing with these 2 very challenging planets. Okay, so with all of that being said, let's go ahead and start diving into each planet one by one. Now for this part of the video, if you have your birth chart handy, go ahead and pull it out because I'm going to give you the specific degree points that each planet is moving through this month. So you can see if you have anything in your chart that will be activated or affected by these planets' movements, and also you can see what house or what area of life this may affect you in. So let's start out with the sun. The sun is currently in Aries, right? Aries is the astrological new year. It is the first house. It is when we start off the new year energy. And so as we move into April 1st, the sun is at 11 degrees of Aries and it will move all the way through to Taurus at 10 degrees. So go ahead and check your birth chart to see if you have any planets between 11 degrees of Aries to 29 degrees, and also anywhere from 0 degrees of Taurus to 10 degrees of Taurus. That is where the sun will be transiting this month. In the middle of the month, on April 20th, is when the sun officially moves into Taurus. As the sun is still in Aries, remember the sun brings heat, life, and vitality. It shines down upon us and infuses us with the zodiac energy in which it is located. So as the sun is infusing us with the energy of Aries in the astrological new year, we are feeling hot, spicy, brave, confident, fearless. Remember, Aries is the toddler under 7, so it's time to take a risk. It's time to be bold. It's time to start being a little bit more selfish and running after your dreams. So embrace this energy. It's only going to last until April 20th. Then the sun will move into the energy of Taurus, where it slows down a little bit. Taurus is an earth energy, so we are going to be feeling a little bit more slow and steady, wanting stability, wanting more luxury. Taurus deals with our senses, so we're going to want to feel nice things and taste nice things and touch nice things, and we're going to want to just find the comforts of life. What do we value? What makes us feel comfortable, and where can we find some stability? So that is going to happen when we get to April 20th as the sun transits through the energy of Taurus for an entire month. Now let's talk about the moon. The moon, we have 2 lunations this month, the first one being the full moon in Libra, happening on April 6th. So that means that the sun is going to stay here in Aries and the moon is going to be in Libra. Now I'm going to talk all about that full moon in Libra on April 6th in a separate YouTube video, so make sure you like and subscribe. I will be back with all the details. Now this is a very important full moon to release on because it is the last full moon in the zodiac sign of Libra that is not an eclipse until 2026. After this year, in 2024 and 2025, the full moon in Libra will be an eclipse, meaning, again, your free will is a little tied and you don't get the opportunity to choose what you're going to release in this area of your life. So come back for that full moon in Libra video, set some time aside around that date, and really think about in your life, what relationships, Libra, where do you need to let go? Where do you need to find more balance? It is the scale, so bring more harmony and peace. Maybe you need to have new negotiations or new boundaries or new contracts in place with the people in your life. So we'll dive into all of that. I also want to mention that that full moon in Libra happens every single year. And the magic of the full moon in Libra is that it always dictates when Easter Sunday will be. What do I mean by that? Easter Sunday is always dependent on the astrological new year. So after the sun moves into the zodiac sign of Aries, we wait for the first full moon of the year, and the Sunday that follows is Easter. That's why Easter changes every single year. And that full moon is always the full moon in Libra. So it's a beautiful lunation, a beautiful opportunity. So much more to talk about on that, but we will get to that, like I said, in a separate video. So that leads us into the second lunation of the month, which is going to be on 4/20. This is a very, very important one because it's the second new moon in Aries. Last month in March, on the astrological new year, we had a new moon in Aries. And traditionally, in the month of April, we would have a new moon in Taurus. But it's 2023, and like I said, there's a lot of energy popping off in Aries. So this month in April, we are having a second new moon in Aries. And not only is it a second new moon in Aries, it is going to be the eclipse. The first eclipse of 2023, the first eclipse in the brand new Aries and Libra eclipse cycle, and another opportunity for us to start new, to start fresh, for new beginnings, new chapters in the Aries area of our life. A very, very important lunation of 2023 and a shift and change for us as we move forward in our life. So again, I will have another separate video that talks all about that because there is a whole lot going on in the sky at the time of that new moon. Not only that, but just 2 hours after that new moon, that eclipse happens, the sun moves into the energy of Taurus. That happens on the same day. Okay, now we're gonna move on to Mercury. Mercury is the messenger. Remember, he has the wings on his head, that's the symbol. And Mercury dictates how we think, how we speak, how we communicate, who we like to communicate with, and the way in which we share information. Now, as we go into the beginning of the month, Mercury is still in the zodiac sign of Aries at 25 degrees of Aries. Now, at the beginning of the month, he is going to move into the energy of Taurus, where he's going to gear up and prepare for his retrograde that begins later on in the month. Now, as Mercury is in Aries, remember Aries is the toddler under 7. Brave, bold, fearless, speaking up for its wants, its needs, its desires. You've been probably saying no to people. You've probably been expressing yourself and your goals and your dreams and what you're going to do next. Great energy. You still have some time to embrace this. But really close to the beginning of the month, Mercury is going to move into Taurus. Now, Mercury moves pretty quickly. He usually just zips through a sign within 3 weeks. But due to the fact that he is retrograding in Taurus, he will be in Taurus for 6 weeks, double the amount of time. When Mercury moves into Taurus, the mind, the thought, the expression, the communication, the way in which we learn and process information shifts and changes, because the energy from Aries to Taurus is a shift. Aries is hot, it is fiery, it is bold, it is spicy. The energy of Taurus is earth. It's grounded, it's stable, it's practical, it's slow. It's trying to understand things in a very tangible, logical way. And so when the energy of Mercury moving into Taurus shifts and changes, we're going to think differently. We're going to start looking at things as, do we value this? Is this stable? Is this something I can build and have for a long period of time? And then he's going to retrograde. So we're going to have to go back over something, some information. We're going to have to redo some research. We're going to have to re-understand something. We're going to have to go back. And Taurus rules finances, budgets, our material possessions. It rules our physical body as far as what we like to experience and sensuality and to luxuriate in. So there is going to be a whole lot of energy to talk about with that. And again, I will make a whole separate video on that Mercury retrograde, giving you the dates, helping you with what lessons you're supposed to be learning and growing during that time, remembering all of our retrogrades are lesson learning opportunities, because the planet goes backwards in the sky, meaning it goes back over a time frame, a chapter, a period in our life where we get to redo something. We get a course correct. It's a beautiful energy as long as we know what we're supposed to be doing over. Mercury will go from 25 degrees of Aries all the way to 15 degrees, and then at the end of the month, he will be back at 11 as he still continues his retrograde journey. Then we move on to Venus. I love Venus. Venus is the planet of love, of relationships, of what we value, arts, creativity, entertainment. She is the divine feminine. She is going to be the star of the summer. Lots of things going on with her when she starts retrograding in July. But for now, she's at home in Taurus and she is happy. And we love that for her. But although she is happy and at home in Taurus, she is having to deal with Uranus. Sudden jolting change. I've made a lot of videos on this. And when Venus gets home to Taurus, she's like, I'm here, I'm home. She vacations all year round and then makes it back to a place of comfort. She is the ruler of Taurus. But since 2019, she's had a roommate, and that roommate is Uranus. The rebel, the revolutionary, the one that's messy, the one that's always bringing shocking surprises to the house, always decorating different, always having different people around. Just shocking Venus. So she knows he's there. She knows she has this roommate until 2026. She also has the North Node here. This is like a toddler running around, right? The North Node is destiny. So toddlers do whatever they want. You don't have free will when it comes to toddlers. So Venus is not only going to deal with Uranus, expected, the North Node for the final time. Next year when she comes home here, the North Node won't be here, so that'll be a lot easy peasy. But remember, as she moves into Taurus, this year she's gonna have to deal with Pluto. She's gonna have to answer to Pluto. What darkness, what secrets, what do you need to transform in your relationships and what you love and your material possessions and the things that you value? Where are the skeletons? What conversations need to be had? What shifts and adjustments need to be made? What needs to be revealed? What skeletons need to be exposed so you can have more stability, more luxury, more sensuality in your life? So that's something we're going to be dealing with this month. So as a relational astrologer, this is a topic I'll probably be bringing up a lot, especially over on TikTok and the more shorter video formats. So Venus has a lot going on. She's starting out the month at 18 degrees of Taurus, and by the end of the month, she will be in the zodiac sign of Gemini at 12 degrees of Gemini. This is great for her because Gemini is all about being fun, socializing, curious, intellectual, stimulated. It's just a good old time for Venus. Although it's not her home, she's definitely in a vibe when she's in Gemini. So again, it's who we love and how we love. It deals with our relationships and the people that we interact with. And so when Venus moves into Gemini in the middle of the month, we're going to be shifting and changing, going from Taurus, slow, steady, building on relationships, figuring out which ones we value. In our partnerships, we're going to want to be sensual. We're going to want to take our time. We get into Gemini and it's like, I want to socialize with everyone. I want to talk to everyone. I want to learn. I want to be stimulated. This is an energy of like brain-gasms. Like literally tell me something, talk to me, use love language of words to make me feel amazing. And so there's going to be a lot of socializing. People may be flocking to you. There might be multiple people into you. You might be into multiple people. You might just be a social butterfly. So this is a beautiful energy for getting out there, for networking. You know, we have this astrological New Year energy where we have new goals and new dreams and new desires, and we gotta get out there and socialize and have a lot more interaction in our relationships. So beautiful energy for Venus. And again, like I said, this summer, she will be the star of the show as she retrogrades in Leo. So a lot more to come on her. Then we talk about Mars. Mars is our masculine. Now he is the partner and the lover of Venus. This is the part of us energetically that takes action, that moves forward, that makes decisions, that has that primal urge to get things done and to make shit happen in our life. Mars, poor old Mars, our masculine side, has been stuck in Gemini for 7 months. Mars is left lane, gas pedal, get this done, let's go. And so he is finally, in the month of March, last month, he moved, he left, he finally got out of this Gemini chaos and moved into Cancer. Not particularly an energy he enjoys. Cancer is a water, it is emotional, it is intuitive, it's of the mother, it's of holding space. And Mars, again, is the masculine, fire, hot, get stuff done. So in the way in which we take action, Mars, the way in which we're making decision, Mars, is no longer Gemini logic with facts, with details and analyzing and speaking to people and gaining opinions. It's now with our intuition. We're going to slow down and go within and make the decisions that feel right for us. So for the month of April, Mars will start off in Cancer at 3 degrees, and by the end of the month, he will only be at 19 degrees of Cancer. So you want to go ahead and check out your birth chart and see if you have any planets in Cancer between 3 and 19 degrees. Now, Mars as well will be involved with both lunations, the new moon and the full moon this month, because the sun is in Aries. So he will be the ruling planet involved in both lunations this month. And it's kind of like being muddy, moody, slow, sullen, cranky, because remember, Mars is our masculine, our primal instinct. And Cancer is ruled by the moon. The moon moves every 2 to 3 days. So if your drive, your desire to move forward, your decision making, your chi, your life force is shifting and changing every couple days, that is very common when Mars is in Cancer. So just roll with it, honor it. If you feel a certain way one day or you want to make a certain decision one day and 2 days later it shifts and changes, honor it. This doesn't last forever. By the time we get to the middle of May, Mars will be in Leo. And that's when the fire, the spice, the passion, and everything changes. And like I said, it's going to be a spicy, fun summer for taking action, for our relationships, like so much going on in Leo. So we will talk about that. If you kind of want to circle back at the end of this video and go to my 2023 Astro Forecast video, I lay out the entire year, month by month. And so you can go get an overview and kind of understand all of that coming up by watching that video later. Then we move on to Jupiter. Jupiter is my favorite planet because he's the planet of expansion and growth, luck, blessing, prosperity, optimism, faith, and hope. And so we got to know where Jupiter is at all times, and he is in Aries. He will be moving this month from 19 degrees of Aries to 26 degrees of Aries. He got here way back in December of 2022, and he will be leaving in May. So not a whole lot of time here left. This is an energy we have to harness because Aries, again, is that toddler under 7. So it's being brave and bold and fearless and direct and selfish and going for your wants and your needs and your desires and prioritizing them. And Jupiter is here once every 12 years saying, if you do those things, I will bless you. I will bring opportunity. I will bring faith and hope and optimism. So harness this energy. It doesn't last much longer. However, this month, Jupiter is going combust. So there's going to be some challenges around this. Starting out the month, the sun is moving towards Jupiter. This is called a combustion because in astrology and astronomy, we can look up in the night sky and see the planets, right? They look like stars. But as the sun moves closer and closer to that planet, it starts to wash it out. We can't see it anymore because the sun's rays overtake it. So as Jupiter's starting to go combust at the beginning of the month, we're going to feel less optimistic, less prosperous, less lucky, if you will, because his rays are kind of blinded out and we don't energetically feel that. Now, something to notice is when this happens every single year, the financial markets don't do well. So from the 1st to the 10th of April, we can kind of expect some volatility around this as Jupiter's rays and prosperity are being drowned out by the sun. But the positive is when the sun officially meets up with Jupiter around the 20th, then we have a conjunction. And this is a very blessed and lucky day. Now, I know we had the luckiest day of the year back on March 1st when the sun and Venus met up in the sky. But when the sun and Jupiter meet up, it's more optimistic, more hope, more faith, more expansion, more growth, more blessings can come to us. And so by the time we get to April 20th and the 21st, the sun will, drown out Jupiter in combustion, but then it will combine its energy and it will use its rays to bring us more faith and hope. So that is going on this month with poor Jupiter. So again, if you don't feel all that optimism or you don't feel all that luck, that's why. That's what's going on in the sky. Let's move on to the last few planets. Saturn is now officially in Pisces. In March, he finally left Aquarius. We were all sick and tired of his shit in Aquarius. He is the ruler of Capricorn and Aquarius. So for the last 6 years, Saturn has been hammering us with hard lessons, obstacles, challenges, and growth opportunities. He is our tough love dad and he is Lord Karma. But thank God in March, he finally moved into Pisces. He has not been in Pisces in 30 years. For the month of April, he starts out at 2 degrees of Pisces and only makes it to 5 degrees. Now in 2023, he will only make it to 7 degrees because then he will start retrograding backwards. So I have a whole entire video on Saturn in Pisces, but know for the month of April, he's starting to get comfortable in Pisces. Less challenging energy, but the lessons and growth opportunities and the things he's trying to teach us come with a lot of Pisces compassion and empathy and forgiveness. So Saturn is just in his lane, doing his thing this month. And then, like I mentioned earlier, we have Uranus in the zodiac energy of Taurus. He's been here since 2019. This is nothing new. But this month, as all the planets move into Taurus, he is going to be like, hey, haven't seen you in a while. What's going on? Let me shake up your life. Let me change some things. Let's teach these people some lessons in quick, unexpected, volatile ways. And that's why I said the month of April is going to shake us up to change things in our life suddenly and drastically. So that is internally and that is externally, thanks to Uranus. So he's only moving from 16 degrees to 18 degrees of Taurus. Then we have Neptune. Neptune is still in Pisces. Not a whole lot changing with him this month. He now has to share his energy and share his home space with Saturn. That is going to play out over the next 3 years. So not a whole lot to talk about that with the month of April. He's at 25 degrees and only moves to 26 this month. And then last but not least is Pluto. Like I mentioned, Pluto is going to be challenging everyone this month. He's at 0 degrees. New energy in Aquarius, hasn't been here since 1777, so we don't even know what that feels like yet. And because he's only at 0 degrees, it's only a taste or a preview. So I wasn't kidding when I said that there is a lot of energy going on this month with all of our life coach planets up to something, teaching us different lessons and making a lot of moves and conversations with each other. So with all that, let's go ahead and transition and move to the month overview, date by date, so you kind of can look at your calendar and navigate the month ahead and know what to expect as we move forward. So we're going to start off right at the beginning of the month. I reset my board here, so all the planets are where they currently are on April 1st, which is a day where we kind of kick off already with 2 life coach planets interacting, and that is Mars and Saturn. Mars, remember, is now in Cancer, and Saturn is now in Pisces. Both of them made the move last month. Cancer and Pisces are water energies, meaning that these planets are in a trine. So anytime planets are in a similar energy, they make harmonious aspects because they understand each other. Mars is our masculine, remember? So he is taking action through intuition, through feeling. And Saturn is in Pisces, so he's teaching us lessons with compassion and empathy and forgiveness like Pisces. So when you have Saturn and Mars, the malefics, having a conversation, it's like take action, but take responsible action. Move forward, but with responsibility, with authority, with control. And so if you're trying to make a decision at the beginning of the month, if you're trying to make a change in your life, Know that this is a very supportive energy where you're going to follow your Mars intuition. You're going to feel this Cancerian energy and go within and hold space for yourself and feel your way through this shift. And remember that Saturn really wants you to take accountability, to do things in the right way with structure and discipline, and really honoring what you truly want to set a new foundation for. So keep those in mind as you're moving forward on April 1st. Then we move on to April 3rd, which begins the first transit of the month with Mercury, who's been hanging out in Aries, moving into Taurus. Now remember, as he moves into Taurus, he's slowly gearing up to start his retrograde. So he moves in on the 3rd. Now remember what I said, as each planet moves into Taurus, what do they have to do? Have a tough conversation with Pluto. So on April 3rd, as our minds, as our thoughts, as our communication, what we like to learn, how we like to express ourselves is shifting from Aries, bold and direct, into Taurus, more slow and steady and logical and practical. We're going to first have to face our shadows. We're going to have to face some secrets. We're going to have to reveal some things, Pluto. We're going to have to bring some darkness to light. So just understand that there might be some control or manipulation in communication. Either you're talking to people and trying to manipulate and control the conversation, or other people may be doing that to you. Now, this is going to reveal some truths. It's going to reveal some egos. It's going to reveal some skeletons or secrets. So pay attention to the way in which you are communicating and expressing yourself around the 3rd of April. Now, on the 5th of April, Mercury begins his pre-shadow because he's going to be at 5 degrees, where he will retrograde all the way back to in the month of May. So what that means is when we get to April 5th, I want you to start paying attention to your thoughts. Pay attention to the conversations you have. Pay attention to the things that you're learning and looking up and researching and understanding, because during the retrograde, you're gonna have to come back to these things. So from April 5th until Mercury begins his retrograde on the 21st, you're gonna wanna just pay attention, because whatever you learn, whatever conversation you have, whatever negotiation, you're going to have to circle back around. So just pay attention at this time. In addition, don't forget that Mercury is the one kicking off our retrograde season. So from April 1st until April 21st, we are still retrograde free. Mercury retrogrades are not great times to sign contracts. You definitely don't want to initiate travel plans, buy tickets, sign contracts, purchase items after the 21st of April. So please keep those dates in mind, write them down on your calendar, and be mindful this month, because it is kicking off our overlying retrograde season that lasts us all the way till the end of 2023. Then we get to April 6th, the full moon in Libra. Like I mentioned earlier, this is the full moon that leads us up into Easter Sunday, so not a whole lot more to add to that. Just pay attention. The full moon energy is potent for 3 days before, up to 3 days after. So anywhere from April 3rd to April 9th, you will feel and experience the energy of the full moon in Libra, and you can do your new moon rituals or activities around that time. Or if you have your 2023 Astrology Retrograde Journal, you can go ahead and open up to page 29. That is the full moon in Libra page, so you can skip ahead and kind of learn what you should be doing around that time, your moon ritual idea, and the crystals and chakras and herbs that you can work with. So that is a little bit of a preview for you, and again, I will come out with that full video on what to expect and how to navigate that full moon. On the 7th, we have Venus sextiling Neptune. These are great energies. Anytime Venus is in a conversation with Neptune, we're gonna love it. We're gonna feel it. So it's the day after the full moon. We're gonna release, we're gonna let go. It's in Libra, so it's relationships that don't serve us. We're gonna set more boundaries. We're gonna create more contracts that feel good to us, whether they're energetic, whether they're verbal, whether they're written or spoken contracts with other people. So pay attention around the full moon, because the day after, on the 7th, Venus in Taurus has a great conversation with Neptune. This is romantic, this is dreamy, this is a great day for a date night. Venus is what we love and who we love and our relationships, and Neptune is the dreamer living in la la land, in fantasy world. And so it's a great energy on the 7th to fall in love, to go on dates, to have some romance, to go to the arts or participate in some form of entertainment. Lovely day. Love this day. Mark it down. Great energy. Then we get to April 11th. April 11th is a big day because we have 2 astro weather events happening on that exact same date. On that date, Venus moves into Gemini. So When she moves into Gemini, she's leaving her home sign of Taurus, like I mentioned, and moving into a more social and curious and conversational energy. We get a little flirty, we get a little bubbly, we get a little quick-witted, we love to tell jokes, we want some intellectual stimulation, we want some braingasms, we want to use our words to shower praises, and we want other people to give us the love language of words of affirmation. That happens on April 11th at 12:47 a.m. and that's going to last us all the way until May 7th. So just kind of pay attention to the shift in energy in your relationships and the way that you love, the things that you value, all of the things ruled by Venus. Now, like I mentioned, on that exact same day, we have the Sun conjunct Jupiter. So that is the day where we have that energy of luck, of optimism, of faith, of prosperity, of blessings coming into us. This is just a very magical energy, and it's happening at 21 degrees of Aries. And I'm so here for it because my North Node, my North Star, my destiny is at 21 degrees of Aries. So I am looking forward to April 11th. Now, the day after, on the 12th and the 13th, Venus is new in this energy of Gemini, but she has to have a tough combo with Saturn. So we have this romantic, dreamy date night on the 7th. Then she shifts and changes her energy, being more social and flirtatious and curious and wanting to go out into the world, talking to your partner, having lots of great conversations. But when we get to the 12th and the 13th, there's tension. Saturn's involved. Saturn wants more commitment. Saturn wants more structure. Saturn wants more discipline. Saturn wants more foundations being set. So be very careful around that time that there might be boundaries in your relationships that are either needing to be set, boundaries that are being broken so you recognize what you need to redo. There might be challenges to your partnerships, showing the weakness, showing the cracks. But this is a great opportunity to handle your relationship in a practical manner and do something about that. So pay attention to like the 12th and the 13th. So after the 11th, you know, we've been leading up with Jupiter going combust, feeling less optimistic, less faithful, less hopeful, like not getting a lot of blessings and opportunities. On the 11th, he comes conjunct the Sun, so those rays are being shined upon us. The Sun is supporting it. We're feeling a revived energy of blessing and opportunity, and things are feeling good. So we're going to let that energy play out until we get to the 20th. Now, the 20th is a major, major day. This is a day you want to star in your calendar. 2 major astro weather events, again, happening on that date, and that is the new moon in Aries eclipse. Very important energy to navigate and pay attention to. So from the 11th leading up to the 20th, that eclipse energy is coming in little by little. We can feel eclipse energy for 10 days before to 10 days after. So really from April 10th till the end of the month, we're going to be dealing with the unexpected, fated, destined events that new moon in Aries eclipse is going to be bringing to us. This energy is something we have not experienced in 18 years. That was the last time that this North Node of Destiny had eclipses in the zodiac sign of Aries. So that new moon is happening at 12:12 a.m. on the 20th. You live in any time zone after Eastern Standard Time, the eclipse will technically be happening for you on the 19th, but is overnight on the 19th into the 20th. So like I said, you're going to be feeling it. We're going to be leading up to it. Lots of things going on. Mars is the ruler. So it's a new moon of crises, of breakdowns. It's eclipses. It's jolting things into your life. It's forcing you to step forward in Aries, bold, brave, go for your dreams, be more selfish, take that risk. It's a very big energy. And again, it's an eclipse, so our free will is tied and things are coming for us that we don't even realize yet. So there's gonna be a lot of healing. It's dealing with a lot of power and needing to shift and change the way in which we do things. You know, Aries energy is like main character energy. I'm the main character of my life. I need to be the one that is at the top, the one that I prioritize, the one that I do things for first. So there's going to be a lot of breakdowns and transformation in our life, in society, that makes you the main character of your life once again, where you're like, I'm done with this. I'm done with this. It's about me. Be more selfish, clean up your own backyard, allow things to be eclipsed into your life. And again, so much more to talk about with that as we get to that video that I'll put out on YouTube. And like I mentioned, on the 20th, we have 2 major astro weather events. So The new moon eclipse will happen at 12:12 a.m. That's when it's exact. And about 4 hours later at 4:13 a.m., the sun will officially move into Taurus. So that's the shift of energy. Remember, the sun is shining a spotlight upon, radiating. We feel the heat and the vitality. We feel good when we go outside and we feel the sun's rays upon us. We've been feeling the sun's rays of Aries all the way until the eclipse. And then we're going to feel the sun's rays of Taurus, slowing down, wanting more sensuality, getting into our body, getting out in nature, smelling nice things and tasting nice things, and dealing with the pleasures of life. So we're really going to slow down and start feeling what we want our life to be and look like, and start planting the seeds and focusing on what we value. So big shifting of energy. Now we are going to also understand that the sun is going to bump into Uranus and to the North Node during this transit. So as the sun moves into the North Node, this is fated destined events. Again, the sun is going to heat that up, make things happen quicker and faster and more fiery. And then the sun is going to run into Uranus, sudden, jolting, change. So that is yet to come as the sun moves through Taurus, which is normally stable and steady in the bull and liking to have foundations. But Uranus is like, nope, no stability now. We got to change it up. And Taurus really deals with money and finances and resources and Mother Nature and our body. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting transit. Then the day after, on the 21st, so the day after the eclipse, the day after the sun moves into Taurus, Mercury goes retrograde. And Mercury is going to go retrograde in the energy of Taurus. So Taurus energy is getting potent as we move to the end of April, with the sun being there, with the eclipse energy kind of being potent there, with Uranus acting up and shaking things up, and Mercury now going retrograde there. So not too much more I want to share about that, but just know that Mercury deals with transportation, Mercury deals with technology, with Uranus being here, Uranus being very volatile, very lightning bolt, very electric. You're going to want to get your ducks in a row before the 21st as far as signing contracts, making negotiations like I mentioned, travel plans, and upgrading or editing your technology, your software. There could be a lot of electrical issues, your nervous system with Taurus ruling the body and Uranus being electricity. So calming the nervous system, getting your anxiety under control, grounding, going out in nature. Like, you're going to want to do all that before this Mercury retrograde happens. And in addition, as Mercury steps into Taurus, he's going to get close to Uranus. He gets all the way to 15 degrees and Uranus is at 16. So remember, Mercury's our mind, what we're thinking. So as he leads up to the 21st, we're trying to make a decision. We're thinking about something. We're trying to write a contract or sign a negotiation or purchase something or go forward in our life. And on the 21st, it's like, as he gets close to Uranus, it's like all of a sudden this unexpected surprise, all of a sudden this unexpected information, right? Uranus is sudden jolting change. So all of a sudden we're like, I was going to make a decision. And then on the 21st, it's like, oh, I got this unexpected news or information and now I have to go back because then Mercury's going to retrograde back. So let me go back to the drawing board. Let me go back and get more information. Let me double check that because I'm not ready to make the decision anymore. So that could happen. So be careful. And by May 1st, Mercury will be halfway through his retrograde. We call that the Mercury Cazimi. And that's where resolutions, or we can start to feel like we have answers to the unexpected thing that we discovered on the 21st as Mercury started his retrograde. So that's my little advice. And again, I'll make a whole video on Mercury retrograde, diving in deeper to that. And that really leads us then to the end of the month. On the 29th, Mars is in a sextile with Uranus. Anytime the planets have sex, they're in a sextile. We love that energy. Like I mentioned earlier, Venus is in a sextile with Neptune on the 7th, so we love that energy for falling in love or going on a date night. And on the 29th, Mars is in a sextile with Uranus. Mars, the masculine, our chi, our primal energy, our wanting to take action and make decisions, and Uranus being sudden jolting change. Let's do it. Let's move on. Let's move into our destiny. Let's go. Do the thing right now. So that's going to be like radical action, springing forward. You're going to get this little push at the end of the month because remember, April's the serve, May's the spike. So we're going to lead up to the end of the month with that energy. So much going on this month. I know it's busy. 7 major transits, 7 major astro weather events. And then next month we have 13. So prepare for that, navigate it as best as you can. If you need any help with your personal birth chart, maybe you're trying to navigate some changes in your life that came up for March and you're not sure what direction to go into, let's definitely book a consultation. We can do an astro weather forecast, which is about an hour, where we'll talk about all the planets and what's going on for the rest of the astro year. Or if you've never done a birth chart reading, I highly recommend kind of starting there so you can really grasp your chart, your energy, and we do sprinkle in some current astro weather events so you can understand the cycles that you're in. And if you just need a quick answer to a question, just a quick 30-minute session, whether we're talking about one specific area of your life, maybe you're trying to plan a trip or a wedding, or maybe you just need help making sense of the current eclipses or something I mentioned in this video, I'm happy to dive into a quick 30-minute session with you. Thank you so much for tuning into this video, for allowing me to be the messenger of the cosmos to your soul, for guiding you through these transits and to navigate the chaos in your life. I look forward to connecting with you in a one-on-one session. Drop in the comments below what you got going on. How did March play out for you? Are you looking forward to April? What is going on in your life, and how is this astro weather impacting you? And if you want more, like I said, quick, short format videos, more specific on relational astrology, you can head over to TikTok at The Relational Astrologer. So with that, I send you love and light through the month of April. You got this, you got the cheat sheet now, and I will catch you in the full moon in Libra video.